Welcome friends to the tasting room. We're glad you're here. Today we're heading to a distillery originally founded on a limestone spring first discovered by Lewis and Clark in 1804. The history and the product are everything at the Holladay Distillery.
Welcome to the Holladay Distillery. I'm Matt Jacquino and I'm going to be your tour guide this afternoon. I'm going to show you guys everything that we have on site. We're the oldest distillery west of the Mississippi. Been there since 1856, and we're going to kind of dive into a lot of that history today and bring it back to life. This is our first stop out on the distillery trail here. So behind me, you're going to see our ancient cave. It was actually built in 1838. It was a cattle company way back when, before it was a distillery. They would dry age the beef in this ancient cave. Ben and David Holladay, the Holladay brothers as they were, when they moved here in 1849, their whole goal was not to start a distillery. It was actually to start the Stagecoach line and to head out west to California and south to Texas, moving goods. And so with that, they just happened to have the knowledge, being from Kentucky, the home of bourbon, and heard about our limestone springs. Lewis and Clark actually chartered the 7 limestone springs on site. With that, they said, we know exactly what to do with those limestone springs, purchased the property, and then that was kind of the beginning of the distillery. Right behind me, we have 45,000 gallons of limestone natural spring water. A lot of people ask, well, why is limestone spring water important? And the big reason, it actually removes iron from that water and also adds in micronutrients such as calcium and magnesium that are great in the fermentation process. If you guys look out, you'll see some pump houses that's helping bring that water into the cistern. We pull out 3,000 gallons a day to make 14 barrels of bourbon. It's been 180 plus years, but this cistern still rolling today from the Holladay brothers putting it together from 1849. Without that limestone natural spring water, we couldn't make this perfect bourbon. So this is the next step in our water to bourbon process. We have a 2-cooker process here at the Holladay Distillery, which is an anomaly. Kyle Merkline, our master distiller, when he talks about our 2-cooker system, it's kind of like if you're a chef and you're cooking a carrot and an onion, you're going to cook those for different temperatures for different times. So the same idea goes with our bourbon. You'll see on my right side over here, we have 3 big bags. That's our corn. So our mash bill is 73% corn, 15% rye, and 12% malted barley in our Ben Holladay. And then in our soft red wheat, you're just gonna take out that 15% rye and add in that 15% wheat. So our corn will go in our large cooker on the left. It's got an auger, so you see that PVC pipe going up, looks like a corkscrew on the inside of it. It's gonna pull up all those grains into our cooker on the other side of the wall. We're gonna cook our corn for about 30 minutes at 210 degrees. And then over here on the right side, we're gonna cook our small grains. So think the wheat, the barley, and the rye. So it's gonna use the corkscrew, bring it up in that auger, and drop it into our small cooker. And that'll be for about 10 minutes at 150 degrees. Very few distilleries have that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. It's been 140 plus years. Now we're getting to the middle part where we're cooking the grains, and then also right in front of me, you'll see the fermentation cycle happening. So when we cook those grains, we're gonna break down those bonds in the grains. The whole goal is to make those simple sugars so that when we put in the yeast on this fermentation cycle of 3 days, all those little yeast can gobble up the sugar. It's gonna create alcohol. That's what we want. This one's going off crazy. It's about 24 hours, so it's probably 3% alcohol right now. And our whole goal is by 3 days, it's gonna go all the way up to 8.5% alcohol. And we're gonna take that high proof beer and then we're gonna rectify it in that distillation column. All right, here we are at our beautiful next destination, the 50-foot continuous column put in about 8 years ago now. Probably $3 million from Vendome. Beautiful still. Mirrors our history, but makes some amazing products still. So with that, you look behind me, we're gonna take that 8.5% beer. We're gonna bring it into the distillation column. Water boils at about 212, and then ethanol boils at about 173. So with that, we wanna be in between those two temperatures so that when we put that mash in and we bring steam in the bottom, what's gonna happen, all that alcohol is gonna turn into a gas. Everything else will stay in a liquid and solid state. And so with that, it'll rise to the top. Once it hits the 50-foot top, we have a condenser or cooling plate. It's gonna turn that gas back into a liquid. It'll fall. At that point, it's 120 proof, 60% alcohol, and that we want a little bit more proof on it, so we'll take it over to our doubler, and with that, it works concurrently with a copper coil on the inside, so we'll put steam on the outside, turns that distillate back into a gas, and then it'll do the exact same thing. Once it rises, it'll hit the condenser and it'll drop down when it becomes a liquid again at about 130 proof. And then we'll send it over to our big containers on the other side where it gets ready to be put in those barrels to be moved up into the rick house. Now that we've finished the barrels, we got the distillate on the inside, we got to find out where to put them. So if you look behind me, you're going to see what we call rick houses. So the one you see behind me, it's 6 stories, built in 1933, holds 10,000 barrels. But our newest one, built in 1950, holds 12,000 barrels and is 7 stories tall. And that's the one we're going to go inside and look at. All right, guys, so we've made it into our rick house C. So we have 28 barrels going the whole length. We got 20 rows going this way. These barrels are 500 pounds, so you can't just lift them up and move them willy-nilly. I want to break down how we get these barrels in here into their proper location. And also, if you notice, they're all upright with the Holladay logo. There's a fun little game we have to do to get that to happen. So they have to go into the actual rick. So when I set it there, we use this beautiful clock. They call clocking a barrel. And so you see the 1 spot, the 2 spot, the 3 spot. They're kind of all hodgepodge in here. It's not a rhyme or reason. So when I put that first one in, I want the bung to be in that #1 spot. So when I set it there and roll it all the way in and it hits that wall, it'll be straight up and down with that Holladay logo. And then the second one I put in, the bung will be directly down. I'll roll it all the way in. When it hits that first barrel, it'll be straight up and down. One more thing I want to touch on in here, you know, back in our history in the 40s and 50s, we did a signature 10 lineup, and so we're bringing that back to life. We do 10 barrels a day on the 10th of every month. So hopefully in 2 years, you guys will be walking through a liquor store or in a bar and you'll see that signature 10 lineup and you'll be able to try that beautiful product. I can't wait myself.
Our motto here in the tasting room is drink what you like. And if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're just getting started profiling distilleries, breweries, restaurants, bars, even coffee shops. We'll see you next time in the tasting room.